Welcome back to Underage Packers. It's Joey. Today, I wanted to take a look at the Packers' offensive line and take my prediction, my guess at the Packers' starting offensive line for Week 1 specifically without David Bahktiari. So it's going to get really interesting, going to get really difficult, especially in the interior. It gets really complex and hard to predict at this point. I'm not going to try to guess any players that they're drafting, so this version is going to be without draft picks. I'm going to assume they're going to draft offensive tackle at some point, but I'm not going to implement that into my prediction for this video at least. Let's start off with left tackle, the position that David Bahktiari plays. I think his replacement for the start of the year at least is Elgton Jenkins. I think eventually down the line when David is back, they'll move Elgton to center just because I think he's the best possible player to put there. But right now, you just have to have somebody to play left tackle. You have Billy Turner on the right side, but left tackle, I think Elgton Jenkins is the safest bet right there. And then you have left guard where Elgton plays. So, you got to move some more people around. I'm going to go with Jon Runyan here at left guard. He had to step in for a few games earlier in the season, and he played excellent early when he had to step in. I actually wish he would have stepped in for Lucas Patrick in that Carolina game where the left side of the offensive line was really struggling against Derek Brown and Byron Burns. But Jon Runyan at left guard. Then at center, more moving pieces now. We have to account for the loss of Corey Linsley out as well. I'm putting Lucas Patrick there. He has experience playing center. That's his original position. And like I mentioned, it's the safest bet for right now. At right guard is a pretty tricky position that really depends on the draft. But I'm going to say at right guard, it's Lane Taylor. They bring him back. He's spending too much time on the market, and they're saying, look, we're going to have some problems in the early weeks. Let's bring Lane back, someone familiar with the team, familiar with the offense, and there you have your right guard starter. He was supposed to be a starter on week 1, and then Lucas Patrick stepped in after he got injured again. Hopefully he can stay healthy, and just a great fit for right guard for those first few weeks. Finally, at right tackle, I have Billy Turner, and this is probably the biggest one where if it depends on who they draft, who they sign back. But Billy Turner, he played great at right tackle last year. I don't know why he gets so much flack from fans. I have a lot of confidence in Billy Turner at right tackle. After cutting Rick Wagner, they have lost 3 offensive line starters and depth pieces. So with this version, you're not relying on guys like Josh Neiman. You're not relying on guys like Simon Stepaniak, who we haven't seen yet. But that could have really all changed depending on what the staff thinks about those guys that they drafted last year. Stepaniak, Hansen, Runyan, all of those guys. Maybe they like Stepaniak and they put him there at right guard. But a lot to play out. They could also go and sign Jared Valdir back if he still wants to pay. Remember, he was retired until the playoffs and he decided he wanted to play again. So if they want to either sign either of Lane Taylor or Jared Valdir, that gives you more flexibility with where you want to put Billy Turner, and you have more guys that starting on that offensive line. Once David Bahktiari gets back, I think we're looking at something like David at left tackle, obviously. Left guard, maybe Lucas Patrick or Jon Runyan. Those are the 2 guards, no matter what. And then center, Elgton Jenkins. And right tackle, Billy Turner, which is a phenomenal offensive line, even without Corey Linsley. But we just got to hope that David can get healthy as soon as possible so we aren't relying on this kind of makeshift, wobbly offensive line for too long. Get off to a fast start. Hopefully we get a little lucky with the opponents we have for those first few weeks when David's out. But that's all I got for you today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And as always, go Pack Go.